You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's MasterChef After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's MasterChef After Show.
Hello, MasterChef fans. Thank you for tuning in. This is the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for MasterChef here at AFTERBUZZ TV. It's Fox's new season, Season 5, Episode 1, entitled Top 30 Compete.
Right to the point.
We are huge fans of MasterChef here. I am Stephen Lemieux, joined today by the biggest fan of the show of all.
Yes, Kyle Kittleson. Yeah, I'm a big Gordon Ramsay fan. Basically, like I said earlier while we were watching the show, if there was a show of Gordon just eating cereal, I'd watch it.
As
That'd
long
be great.
as he was yelling at the cereal. You need to judge the cereal.
You're not supposed to be fiber.
You know, sometimes there's a good bowl, sometimes there's a bad bowl. But guys, we're going to be breaking down this episode, kind of going through who the people are, like what we've kind of seen so far of the contestants. We can't really give you a prediction on like top 5 right now.
Well, I have a prediction.
You have a prediction?
Yeah,
All right.
maybe not of everyone in the top 5, but I have a couple that said,
right.
yeah, you're a top 5 worthy.
We'll get into that a little bit later. But so overall thoughts of the episode. What do you think? What do you think, like for how they structure the season so far?
Well, I mean, if you have watched any of the previous seasons, they have their formula down, but it's a formula that works and it's a formula that I love. It has the perfect amount of the drama and the, I feel for this competitor and I don't know what's going to happen. Plus, the whole point is they also incorporate cooking. And I'm not a chef. I can barely make a bowl of cereal, but I enjoy watching other people, create these incredible dishes in short amount of time and with a lot of times limited ingredients. So I love it.
Well, it's amazing to me because I took like 4 years of cooking classes back when I was 18 to 20, and like
you did 4 years in the 2 years.
I did 4 years. No, I took a lot in high school and moved past that a little bit, and I worked in restaurants since I was 16. But
yeah.
I've forgotten a lot of what I learned because after working as a server more, after I didn't like being a chef because it's so crazy and so stressful. Seeing these dishes, I'm just like, man, I couldn't do that even with the skills I have. Like I look at them like, I wish I could make something that amazing in an hour. Absolutely.
And what's so great is that in this show specifically, these are not chefs at restaurants. These are moms, these are dads, these are ex-strippers. This is America here.
This is America.
And they're incredible cooks and they're producing dishes, even at this level when we have the top 30, which is still an incredible feat, that could be seen in a restaurant. And so the talent is there, but they got rid of people quick. They weren't wasting time.
Yeah, they literally start with, all right, guys, let's get this going. Let's get you guys cooking. By the way, we're going to probably throw you out halfway through this challenge, just for S's and giggles, just because Gordon didn't yell a lot this episode. Like, I guess he really saves that for Hell's Kitchen as much, but I'm looking forward to when he can actually, like, be Gordon.
Yeah.
Hardcore Gordon.
I think Gordon in Hell's Kitchen is a yeller, right? That's like that's his gimmick. He goes, I'm just going to yell here. But in MasterChef, he's more of he's like the disappointed father, not the dad who like yells. He's the one who goes, I'm really disappointed in you, and then walks away. And that just kills you even more.
Because then it's like thought out, and then you really disappointed him.
Yeah.
That hurts.
And you realize, man, I did suck.
Speaking of Gordon, the show is judged this season by Gordon Ramsay, as always, and Joe Bastianich.
Yeah.
Or Bastianic and Graham Elliott.
Yeah. And I didn't see Graham at first, and then I realized I did see him. It's just because he looks totally different. He lost 150 pounds since the taping of MasterChef Junior, which, did you see MasterChef Junior?
I did not.
That's an incredible show all its own. But he's lost 150 pounds in just, months time. So I don't know how he did it. Clearly he's not eating as much food as he used to be. So good for him.
Well, I mean, he was trying a lot of stuff in that kitchen there, but I mean, to each his own. You gotta have the strive to lose the weight.
Yeah.
And I think when somebody really wants that, especially when you're on camera so often, you just can't help but feel like, you know what, I could do something to change this.
Sure.
So I can really respect that. Somebody who will actually go out of their way, like take time out to be like, look, I need to get healthy.
But
so
you're talking to a guy who makes great, delicious food for a living.
Oh.
And now he has to go and lose weight. That's that's like asking an alcoholic who's a bartender to also just say, hey, don't drink anymore. I mean, it's right
tough.
there. Yeah.
It's really putting the apple right in front of Eve.
But good job, Graham. You did it. You did it.
You did it. We're proud of you. So we get introduced to some of these cooks when the first challenge is design your signature dish.
Kyle, my favorite
who
challenge.
are you?
My favorite challenge.
Look in the cooking board mirror and tell me who you are.
Yeah, that was a little cheesy, but I like the mirror thing was cheesy, but I like cheesy. Haha, it's a cooking show. I like the signature dish challenge because there are no excuses. You have every ingredient you want. You have time.
Access to this amazing pantry.
Yeah, so there's no excuse for it to be burnt and not be right. And so signature dish is always my favorite. And there were some great dishes, but some people didn't even get to finish. The first person kicked off, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, is Mr. Gavin.
Mr. Gavin, and seeing him, I thought he'd be a major contender. Like
Me too. I thought he was going all the way.
The screen time they give him, the way he describes like what he's doing and how passionate he is. And then you realize that he hasn't tasted anything, and he's like just not really, and he seemed a little cocky.
Yeah, and based on what he showed us, I thought he would go further. And based on what he said in his confessional that, I know this was unsalted or this wasn't, whatever, but I fixed it. I thought, great, okay, you made a mistake, but you fixed it. But they still said, no, you and your bow tie, get out of here. Who loved his bow tie? I mean, that's a rockin' bow tie.
None of them were really dressed to be chefs tonight.
No, but that wooden bow tie, I mean, that's like...
Oh, I didn't see that it was wooden.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw that it was a bow tie.
No. This guy was Gavin was rocking a wooden bow tie. Looks super slick. I thought at the very least he should get, a little leeway for that.
Sadly, this is not Project Runway. This is MasterChef.
That doesn't make salt go into your, potato
His
anything.
smizing did not save him from demise.
Later, Gav. Yeah.
Exactly. Peace out, Gav. You are the first to go on season 5 of MasterChef. So we meet a few other people. Francis, who is the award for worst dressed in the kitchen, but he's a chem guy. He likes to do the high-tech kind of stuff in the kitchen. He likes to fool around.
Explain that to me. What is that?
So there's different chemicals you can use in cooking that will speed up different processes, have different reactions that cause really cool things. You can have a hot dish with liquid nitrogen, and you can dip it and you can make it into something completely different.
And we're okay with this? Am I just out of the loop about chemicals in my cooking? I thought we were going all organic, vegan, 100 that direction.
There are trends everywhere, and there's trends. There's trends in cooking that like to give you food that tastes terrible, but it's healthy for you. There are trends that give you food that is disgusting for you, but it tastes amazing. And a lot of scientists like to just decide, hey, let me try a new way of cooking something. Let me use scientific equipment that is not used for cooking, and let me try it in cooking.
I guess. What do you think Gordon and Graham and Joe are going to think of him using a lot of chemicals in his cooking, if that's what he decides to do?
Well, I think it's more of not the chemical use, but the tool use. And you'll see people who will use, those machines that spin really fast to...
Yeah, yep.
You'll see people use those in cooking to infuse oil with different flavors and things like that. So I feel if he could pull out those and he could actually get a good flavors coming from these uses of new technology, I think he could be a major contender. But he's got to get somebody that can dress him better.
But more importantly,
again, this isn't
back to Project Runway. He needs to call Gavin and say, look, I know you're out, but
wooden bow ties and frilly plaid red blue sweatshirts and those Adidas.
Could you help me?
My God, I'm a straight man, and I feel like I have to just put a bag on.
That was a lot. I mean, Francis came on the screen. He said his name. He said he liked chemicals in his cooking, and I said, bye. I'm done with you. I'm done. He's got a lot of work to regain me as a fan.
But he made it interesting. I thought he was interesting enough that when they break down all these chefs and they show us what they're doing, and it's you have the pie girl, which we'll talk about, Elise, of course. You have the girl, the stripper making gnocchi, and you have all these different types. He kind of stood out. Because
what did the judges say about his dishes?
Well, they were surprised that he was using a syringe in his cooking to begin with.
Yeah.
And they said that it was. I think they just said it was okay. I think
they said it was good. It was boring.
Good. It was kind of okay, but I feel when you have so many chefs that are from like that home cooking expertise,
These all are home cook chefs.
he was all about the presentation and the just the look and serving that experience.
You make a good point there, and that's moving me more on board with him, because that is a good point. I do prefer
Did you
the
see his
really
plate?
good. It was great. It
Yeah,
looked
it's
like
like the
art.
circle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the circle
it's
thing.
interesting.
Yeah. I do prefer a meal that's really good chicken and mashed potatoes and
Oh,
gravy
yeah.
that your grandma made. That's my thing. I don't know if I want like a chemically circular pretty plate. I want it to taste good. But if he can stand out using that, then that is a great standout, because nobody else is bringing that.
I feel like he'd be more powerful if he would combine several dishes in one, because that one dish right there, like, yeah, you had like the stuff on top, then you had the spaghetti that was stuffed going around.
Yeah.
But that seemed like it was more like an appetizer than an entree.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like if that was an appetizer, you need a way to split it among different people.
No,
if
I
that
agree.
makes sense.
If that came out to me in a restaurant, I would say, "Oh, I probably didn't order this. This
Yeah.
is not something I'm going to go after."
Like,
But
I feel like you need crackers with that. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let me dip some crackers in
Right.
it. We get Kevin, who was it Kevin? No, Dan Wu. We get Dan Wu, who is making ramen.
yeah,
They give us
the
just a little bit of
chicken
that, but they say that that's like the most authentic you can really get is a Korean man making a really authentic ramen.
Well, in an episode of Hell's Kitchen years ago, and for big Gordon Ramsay fans who remember this, Gordon said that the best meal he ever had was, oh gosh, if this isn't right, I'm gonna feel the backlash of it, but I'm pretty sure it was a ramen dish that he had on a boat in like some foreign country. So Gordon has this nostalgic thing to ramen.
Well, his
And-
dish he made in the
Was,
second challenge
exactly.
was so reminiscent to ramen, even though it was a
Yes.
dumpling. I mean,
Yes, that's the same family, I guess. So if Dan Wu is if Dan Wu can bring that again in the competition, that will strike a very large chord with Gordon. If it's not ramen, someone tweet me or put it on YouTube or something, because I want to know what that dish is. But he said, I'm pretty sure he said the best dish he's ever had in his entire life was a ramen dish.
I would imagine so. Everyone remembers like their favorite food they've ever had.
Oh, what's yours?
I was in Egypt in 2008.
Naturally, yeah.
And I was at this place called the Mina House Hotel, and they have a Indian restaurant inside, and they have a meal called the Taj Mahal, which is several different curries, several different vegetables and cheeses and things, all cooked in different styles. And I swear to God, the grilled tomatoes with like this Indian cheese with this chicken, like the best thing I've ever had, like the best meal I've ever had, hands down.
Nice.
They told you which order you had to eat it in for it
Yeah.
to cleanse.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
like that was
I don't have to think
best
about
thing
what
ever.
I'm eating. Just tell me.
exactly like
Eat this
best
now.
best thing I've
Perfect.
ever had in my life.
Yeah, great.
Like what would be?
I recently was in San Francisco, crossed the bridge to, oh gosh, I just forgot the valley. Anyway, you cross the bridge, you're in a new valley. There's this place on the water. There was lobster and macaroni cheese. I've had it a billion times, and I got, I'll buy it, whatever. I'm telling you, I talked about this dish for maybe 3 days. Everyone I met, they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "I'm doing really well. I actually had a lobster and mac and cheese that you would die for. It was
Conversation
so good."
starter.
Because the lobster, and we'll get back to Hell's Kitchen in 2 seconds, but the lobster,
MasterChef?
MasterChef. The lobster was not overpowered by the macaroni and cheese. You actually tasted that there was lobster in that, and that's what I love about it. All right, well, the second person to go was Tanya.
No, Natasha.
Natasha? Oh.
Natasha was out for her wine sauce.
Oh, bye.
She put too much wine in. Yeah, like get out of here. Like,
Yeah,
what
we
do
don't
you-
have time for that.
Yeah, it's
you can
like
go wine
you're not
somewhere
making
else.
she crab soup, honey.
Yeah.
You're making a
Now,
sauce.
I like a good glass of wine, but
Yeah,
just
you know,
too
I
much.
just prefer the wine separate from my food.
So then, did Tanya go? Was she the next?
Which one was Tanya?
Or maybe that was Natasha. Maybe I got those names
I think you're mixing
confused.
those names up.
Okay. Yeah. Because there's only 2 that went.
Yeah, there was only 2 that went. That
Yeah.
was crazy. They built it up so much that you thought that you'd be kicking out like 5 or 6 people before they even tried the dishes.
Right.
But no, they tried all the dishes. They go up to the front and they're like, "All right, guys."
And what is it like for that? Like your family and friends, you're on this show, you've already beat thousands of other chefs to come on, and then they go, "All right, we're going to sit down and watch. We hope you go all the way." Because I bet they have to sign like an NDA that they can't say when, when they go. And then you watch the premiere tonight and they're like, "Oh, you got kicked out 5 minutes."
Well, luckily,
Sorry, Gavin.
Luckily, they get a buffer because their family doesn't get to see them get kicked off for about 6 months to a
Yeah,
year.
they can play that up.
Hell's Kitchen films a year before it even airs.
A year?
A year. So they filmed. So we're on Hell's Kitchen season 12 right now, and they finished filming season 13 2 months ago.
So you just got to sit around.
You got to sit around, and we have. If you like Hell's Kitchen, guys, if you love Gordon Ramsay, go ahead and check out the Hell's Kitchen after show at AfterBuzz TV, and check out all our other after shows. But Hell's Kitchen, especially, Leo Quinones hosts. You can follow him on Twitter at Movie Interview, and we get all the people from the show. We get tons of people from previous seasons.
It's great.
It's amazing. They tell you all about the experience, and they're like, yeah, you can't say anything. And you know what happens for a year. It's terrible.
Well,
so
then maybe Gavin had it easy. He just goes, I just have to wait through the first episode.
Exactly.
I can tell my whole story.
He doesn't have to wait for his friends to wonder. They're just like, dude, you dropped the ball.
Now, when they were bringing up their dishes, this was a question that you brought up, and I'm going to bring it up now. When they stop cooking to eliminate someone, what happens to all their food there?
I feel like it just keeps cooking.
Just good luck.
Yeah, I feel like...
I don't feel like that's fair. Because these are timed down to the second, and you're going to say, everyone put your hands up real quick. We have to kick someone off the show.
Well, how is somebody going to make a souffle, especially if they have those conditions too?
I don't know.
I think he made the souffle in the second round.
That's what we need to ask. When we get someone in here, we need to ask them this question.
Yeah, because that just seems like if you're cooking a risotto and you literally have if you're trying to speed it out and you have your flame on high,
right?
You're supposed to be like knocking that thing out.
And you're cooking it for Gordon Ramsay, so he's gonna know. Like he's gonna know.
You're hitting that thing to make sure that it cooks, and they're like, put it down on the flame. Yeah, you're like standing there.
Right. Not gonna happen.
And he'll know. Like everyone can taste burned rice. Everyone can taste anything burned, especially with chicken. That stuff dries out so quickly if you're cooking in a certain way. Unless you're really baking chicken, you're not going to get a lot of the juices if you leave it overcooked.
Yeah, that's why I love cooking reality shows, because they make it feel like this is the biggest, most like the stakes are stakes. The stakes are so high with every dish. When really we're just talking about like rice that was overcooked, right? Like not a big deal.
Yeah.
But in these shows, man, your rice is overcooked. It's like the death penalty for you.
It's all in the editing, though.
Of course,
if you've ever watched a badly edited reality show, you have no investment in it. You're just like, okay, but like they do such a good job. And of course, this is One Potato, Two Potato Entertainment, which is I think Gordon Ramsay's.
One potato, two potato.
I'll look it up, but I think that's Gordon Ramsay's production company, one of them.
Well, he needs his own one. He has 19 TV shows. He's everywhere.
He's got so many. Patricia Lillowin is the. Oh, it's from United Kingdom, but seriously, like you need the editing, you need the music.
Oh yeah.
Like you watch Hell's Kitchen, like do like open in the store, like you got that. This show really praises itself with the editing and how something that it took an hour, they really cut it together to make it. You're like, yeah.
Right.
Who's gonna mess up?
Right.
I want to see you mess up. I want to see them kick you out.
Well, and it is editing, but at the end of the day, we're talking about asparagus that was burnt like that. That's what we're talking about. But it's edited to seem like this really big deal. I had one qualm though that I haven't shared with you.
Okay.
This is a pretty big one too. Gordon Ramsay notoriously calls men, especially men who are normally
larger,
a little overweight. Yeah.
Who we find out his name is Willie.
Big Willie. Hashtag Big Willie. He notoriously.
Do not search that hashtag. You might not find what you're looking for.
Didn't think about that all the way through. No hashtag Big Willie. But
don't Google it either. Okay?
Gordon Ramsay always calls him Big Boy. All right, Big Boy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't do his accent, but get out there, Big Boy. He did. It was right in front of him. So that was either edited out or Gordon was off his game. But I think I'm going to start keeping a tally for this season on how many times Gordon Ramsay refers to Big Willie as Big Boy. I'm guessing over 5 times.
Do you think it's derogatory when he says it though?
No.
Do you think people could take it that way?
Yeah, because people will take everything every which way. But he doesn't mean it that way. He calls people who aren't large Big Boy. But he does call people who are large Big Boy. So
we do meet a little bit of Willie, who I don't know his last name yet. I don't think they said.
Willie.
Just Big
Willie. First
Willie.
name Big, last name Willie.
So we're talking about Big Willie
there
here.
You go.
Big Willie's making an apricot chicken.
Yeah.
And when they plated it, it looked like he had some saffron rice with the chicken, and then looked like sweet carrots on the side that were grilled, maybe broiled.
Yeah.
It looked like a very well put together dish. Very simple.
I mean, just looking at all the chefs, that's the guy I want cooking for me.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna have my last meal, and you wanted me to line up those chefs and say which one do you want to cook your last meal, Big Willie.
Yeah.
all the way.
Come on, Big Willie.
Yeah, cook me whatever you want, whatever Big Willie thinks. Don't even ask me what I like. Just Big Willie, what do you think? Cook that.
Big
Love
Willie
it.
should talk to Graham about like what he did though too. Because, like, this isn't even like a negative thing. Like, I used to be 250 pounds. Like, I know what it's like to have the knee problems, to have the not be able to tie your shoe without being out of breath, like that kind of stuff. Like,
well, can that affect his performance in a show like this, which is physically strenuous?
Oh, yes. I'll tell you right now, working in a restaurant when you're 18 and overweight, yes. Yeah. You can't run around. You can't be on your feet for 10, 12-hour shifts.
I mean, I worked in restaurants too, as from everything from a busboy to a server, and it's there's no sitting. There's no like lull time.
Well,
it's
plus,
go,
like,
go.
That guy, you cannot fit him in a small kitchen. Like, you cannot have 4 chefs going around each other. Even if they're at their stations, you got your head chef behind you trying to walk behind you. It's not going to work out.
But at the end of the day, if he can produce incredible plates with really delicious food,
anybody can lose weight.
Then he'll go on.
Yeah, he can do it. Like,
I would just hate for him to have to leave the show for a medical reason,
as we saw 4 years ago in Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Or if he, because they do competitions in the show where they go, all right, you have to run to the pantry and come back and da da da. And if he can't do it as fast as everyone else, that's going to hurt him. So,
well, plus it's also dangerous for somebody of that size to be running in a kitchen. They don't have as good balance.
Yeah.
They slip, they go down hard.
Well, I know we haven't gotten to predictions, but Big Willie, I'm going to say is a top 5.
Top 5, I think.
I'll say top 5.
I'm going to say top 10.
Okay.
And I think the only reason he won't go further than that would be imagination.
Because you think he's stuck in his same plates?
I think his plating style, unless he like works on it to get it to be a little bit more fine dining, a little bit more interesting. Because right now it looks like you just went to a barbecue restaurant and they put 3 things on a plate. The saffron rice looked great. He molded it, did the castle mold. He did good presentation with the carrots to make them like putting. I think it was rosemary on top of them.
Yep.
But at the same time, it was ...
True, but today they had their signature dish, which is whatever he wants, and then they had the other challenge we had the huge reveal where they think they're getting kicked off, but they say, just kidding, you have one more chance, and then they have to go into this pantry and they can only use these common ingredients, including the protein chicken. So he can't get too creative with those things, and I don't think it's your place to get too creative on the first challenge. You just got to make it. Just get through it. And then now, as the challenges get more and more complicated, will be his time to shine and be a little more crazy with his cooking.
I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what
I'm pulling for Big Willie.
Big Willie?
If you're pulling for Big Willie, leave a comment, tweet, something.
Big Willie, we're pulling for you.
Yeah.
Hashtag pulling for Big Willie.
Yeah. No hashtags with Big Willie. Just search it. Twitter needs that.
So yeah, they do shout out who basically is staying. They don't really taste everyone's food. Like, each chef goes around individually, tastes who they want to. I don't think all 3 chefs tasted everybody.
All right. Do you think when they eliminate those chefs, how much of the elimination is based on their food taste or their skill, and how much of it is, I don't think you're going to be a good character for the show, so we want you off?
Probably 75 cooking, 25 character.
Okay.
At this point through the people they've went through, they've kind of weeded out the people who they don't think would be good television.
Yeah.
That's like 90% of the audition process is the television ready, and then 10% is the cooking. Right. Because honestly, you could probably go to any cafe in LA and find somebody who has the set skills.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's really.
So what about Astrid? Astrid was the one who was dirty and throwing onions on the floor and whatever.
I still think that was a little bit dick in the soup. The term "dick in the soup" we use on after shows here means the producers were involved. That just seemed too.
A plant.
It seemed too much like dick in the soup. It was so. No chef does that. No cook at their home does that.
That is the point. That is the point you made where I go, you're right, because no chef in their house gets in the habit of throwing food on their floor that they have to then clean up.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
And her saying, like, don't you have people who clean that up? Like, is she rich? Does she have a maid that she just treats like crap and just throws food on the floor for?
I think they found an actor who could saute onions and put it in there.
Yeah, I think if anything, she's going to go out next episode, because that had to have been a plant.
I agree.
I don't see her as not being a plant.
I agree. I wasn't sure until you made the comment of, a home cook would never have that as a habit.
Yeah,
and then anyone with any type of like foresight would know maybe I shouldn't throw the food on the floor while I'm competing on national television at MasterChef.
Well,
I just
like,
think that's normal behavior.
Yeah, if you're gonna like imagine you're cooking in Gordon Ramsay's kitchen.
You are cooking in his kitchen.
Exactly. You're not gonna be doing stuff like that. Like you're not gonna be making mistakes that stupid and that blatant. Plus having all the 3 camera angles like on everything. It was, guys, too obvious. I like this. I like the show, but too obvious. I can barely hear myself. Can you turn my mic up a little bit, please, Justin? Turn the 2 levels down for the video if it's capping too much.
Yeah, we want to hear everything.
Thank you. So the people who get to stay, we get Courtney, who was the entertainer. You know,
the adult entertainer.
The adult entertainer.
Yeah.
No, let's not say adult entertainer because that means porn star. Let's say she was an exotic
live
dancer. Yeah, she was a live entertainer, exotic dancer. She is cute. She's sweet. Love her smile, great attitude.
Yeah.
You know what? I can dig it. I hope she wins. I hope she goes far. So we get Courtney, we get Big Willie, Dan Wu with the ramen, Jamie, didn't meet Jamie. Tyler was the guy who cooked the lamb with the chimichurri sauce.
Yes.
Which I didn't think he would make it. Because when somebody talks about cooking this meal they've cooked 1,000 times and they love it, people tend to cook for their own tastes and they don't cook for other people's tastes. So this is a guy who cooks this meal for himself and maybe like a close friend, but unless you've had somebody try it and you've cooked it successfully for other people, if you love spicy food, you're going to make it more spicy.
But
and
maybe he has a great palate. Maybe his palate is the American diner. And so as long as he's happy with it, then everyone else will be. Because that to me is when a chef can sit down and taste something and say, yes, I like this, and it translates to dollar sales in a restaurant, then that palate is worth something.
But when the chef walks by and tries it, he says, you better try that again.
Yeah, true.
It was too salty.
True.
So, no, that wasn't too...
It was not, or he wasn't sure. They just said, fix it.
Okay, yeah, that was the one that was just said fix it. So
which would drive me crazy. Like, can you tell me what? Like, can you be a little more specific, please?
Yeah, I gotta say, Chef Joe likes to just walk away from people.
Oh, that is such his thing. That is so his thing. Now he's a very successful restaurateur, and like I really appreciate the business side of anything, and especially in a cooking standpoint. And so I always find his critiques very interesting because later in the season, they will have a critique on what can make it into a menu or how much a dish will cost to be in a menu. And his insight is always very valid for that. But you're totally right. His thing is, I'm going to look at you, I'm going to look at your food, and then I'm going to look at you again, and I'm going to walk away. Because I don't have a word to describe that.
It's the unspoken.
It could be good or bad. It could be good or bad, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes he looks at you and looks at that, and he walks away, and then he's like, that was the best,
So if you guys want to know about Chef Joe Bastianich, here's a list of the things he's done.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So he's teamed up with Mario Batali to open Babbo Ristorante in Enoteca, and that earned 3 stars in the New York Times, which is fairly amazing.
Yeah, do that on a Saturday.
And then in New York City alone, he's opened 7 more restaurants: Lupa Esca Casamano, Bar Hamon, Otto Del Posto, and most recently Italy, which is Eataly. And that's in New York alone. Then Los Angeles, he opened with Batali, Osteria Mazza, Pizzeria Mazza, and in Las Vegas, B&B Ristorante, Enoteca San Marco, Carnevino. Closer to home, he had, Terry Lodge. Oh my God, he has so many restaurants, and he has wineries. He has 3 wineries: Hacienda Agricole Bastianich, La Mazza, and Tritona Mendoza.
So he's at a couple good restaurants.
That guy is one of the most successful chefs I've seen that I really haven't heard about except for MasterChef.
He's it. I mean, he's great, and it's because I'm such a huge fan of Gordon Ramsay, and I'm not really a fan of a lot of people.
Yeah,
I like. Pretty much any celebrity could walk in here and be like, "Oh, nice to have you," well, whatever. But if Gordon came in here, I'd be like, "Oh my God!"
So you'd nerd out.
It's so nerd out. Yeah. So to get judges who come into the show that can stand at that caliber is for me very difficult. But both Graham and Joe do very well next to Gordon Ramsay. All right, so keep going. You were talking about the chefs that we got to meet.
Tyler was the lamb guy. He got through. Victoria, Christine, Kira, Christian, Jordan, Daniel.
None of these people we got to meet, though.
No,
these are just names.
These are all the people that went through.
Yeah.
Then they said them so fast. Christine, Kira, Christian, Jordan, Daniel, Whitney, Connor, or Carter, I think. Elizabeth, and Gordon, Francis, and Elise. So
little Gordon.
Elizabeth, Gordon, and Elise. Let's talk about those guys. So Elizabeth made the PB&J dessert.
Looked great. Loved it.
I would totally order that.
I would, and I'm not even a dessert guy, and I would order that. And she was dead on when she said, if I can take a dish as humble as peanut butter and jelly and turn it into an item that you would see in a restaurant, because again, that is the point of this show, not to just make good food, but make good food that we could serve in a restaurant and profit off of, then she said, I will have done my job, and she did. She nailed it.
I feel like she made it a little too complicated, because when you're dealing with peanut butter and jelly, I feel like it would have been better to do maybe a peanut butter crust and do a jelly cobbler, like do a cobbler in that way.
Perhaps, but she got through.
She did
so,
get through.
So hey, don't break it.
I
It's not.
I ain't hating the game. I ain't hating. All right. It looked good. I would probably order it over a Death by Chocolate cake or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Elizabeth for sure.
So she almost didn't get through, but she did get through.
She did.
And then we have the second challenge.
The second one, yeah.
The second challenge with all the people who didn't get through, but maybe they'll get through. And okay, can we talk about how Graham does not know how to give a suspenseful?
Yeah. Right? I mean, Gordon Ramsay can deliver a fake out. You know, like he's so good at delivering. He's a great host.
Yeah.
He's great at delivering the lines, making you go, I don't know which way it's going to go. And even when you watch his shows a lot, you still get the formula, but there are times because of his delivery, you go, wait,
I feel like
are they kicked off? Are they not kicked off?
He, in his mind, he's like, I'm going to give it time that we could cut to commercial right here just to mess with people. Like, in his mind, he's like, commercial.
But Graham goes, I should have written it down because I think his exact words were, I forgot the guy's name. Was it Gordon? Little Gordon? Yeah, it was Little Gordon.
Little Gordon.
He goes, Gordon, I'm sorry, but you're not going back.
Oh, where's he from?
School. I was like, to school. And it was just so. I just feel like they could have cut and redid. Maybe that was the retake.
It's like that was his mind. He's like, you're not going back to.
It's like he had to say, all right, so he's going to stay in, so he's not
not
getting kicked off. So I'm going to say he's not going to
Was he married?
go
No,
back
he wasn't married. He wasn't
to his kids, his family.
His family.
I think he's in school.
He looks
to
like
school.
School. Let's go with school.
School. Yeah, so I think Gordon just needs to have like 15 minute.
It reminded me of Brick Tamlin trying to give a comeback in Anchorman.
Oh, yeah.
Where'd you buy your suit? The school?
That's what it is. Did you go back to school? But I am sure little Gordon didn't care. He's like, great, I love it.
He's like, yeah, I'm in. I got.
He knew before Graham even finished. He's like, oh, you're trying to fake me. Okay, I got it. I'm here. Awesome.
You're terrible at this?
Yeah.
Okay,
great,
cool.
good,
I'll forgive
good.
you. I just want to go through.
And he did, well, I mean, he didn't have much work with, but he did an ice pan seared chicken breast. Tasted good. You know what? The two things I've learned with watching Gordon Ramsay, do not serve him dry chicken and do not serve him undercooked chicken. So if you can do that, you're good.
And don't serve him undercooked scallops or overcooked
just
scallops.
undercooked anything. Or just
just serve everything
just
perfect.
cook everything great.
Make it
and
perfect.
then you'll be fine. Then you'll win.
If he's not yelling at you, he likes you.
I'm gonna write an ebook and sell it. How to win a Gordon Ramsay reality show. Cook everything perfectly. Page 1, last page.
You might have better luck with that after you win a Gordon Ramsay reality show.
Right.
You might have to win one first,
but it'll be signed by Gordon, so it'll be fine.
It'll be signed by Gordon.
Yeah.
You'll get a signature from his paper. What is it called?
I don't know.
When people have their own paper, whatever. I will stop talking on that lane.
Yeah, we can move on. Okay, so let me ask you this.
Let me talk about Chandice real quick.
Okay. Chandice. Which one was Chandice?
She was so beautiful, the blonde.
Oh,
to die for.
Please, let's talk about Chandice.
And her food looked amazing.
What?
Like out of all the dishes, I saw that like the potato cake with the shrimp. I was just like,
awesome.
That looks so good.
Much better than Francis.
Oh my god. Yeah.
That's when you earlier you said 75% cooking, 25% character. I think when it came to Francis, they went 75% character, 25% cooking because. We all know how I feel about Francis, but Chandice is gorgeous, and I think she could have gone a lot further.
Definitely.
I don't think she would have won.
No, definitely
based on
not.
Not trying to hate on Chandice.
She's too good looking to have won.
That's just so prejudiced.
I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's a reality show.
I don't think she has the skill set from the little bit we saw to win it, but she definitely did not need to go home tonight. And she's too pretty. You know how many, straight guys and like questioning females and lesbians were like, oh, I wish she would have stayed when she left.
She would have been ratings, guys.
Gorgeous.
She would have been ratings, guys.
Man.
One potato, two potato, Candice.
Yeah.
I mean, Chandice. I'll mess up her name
Chandice.
several more times by the end of this. But no, like she cooked the shrimp with the potato cakes, and the plating was great. It was like a Jenga tower of deliciousness.
Looked awesome.
I would have liked to try it, but and they put one on us because I thought they were gonna because he starts out by saying one of the chief sins of the kitchen is to serve raw potato, and he's like, try it, and we thought that they were gonna be like, it's cooked perfectly.
Exactly.
We thought they were gonna pull that on us,
but they faked us out with the fake out. We thought we were getting faked out, but they faked us out.
Because
see
it
how
wasn't
good
Graham.
he is. See how good he is.
You see, it was Graham was not the one doing it, so we couldn't tell.
Gordon faked out the fake out.
No, Gordon wasn't the one. It was Joe.
Oh,
Joe.
Yeah, it was.
Joe was the one who faked her out, and then he just walked away.
Yeah, of course.
He's just
the
like,
Joe walk away.
I feel like if we get him on this after show, we'll
just walk away.
We'll ask him a question and just look at us and walk away, and our audio listeners would be like, "What just happened?"
And I'd be fine with that. I would appreciate it.
As long as we have it on tape.
I can't believe he drove all the way here to do it.
We get all 4 cameras just watching him walk out. We'd play like a theme song with the violinist. We'd have it down. We'd have to do it in post, but so then we have also, I want to talk about Elise, but there was one more person.
Leslie.
Is
that who you're talking about?
Which one was Leslie?
Leslie's the stay-at-home dad from Malibu.
Leslie, that is the one I want to talk about.
So what did you think of Leslie?
Character. They brought him on because he has a personality. I think they didn't really show it until the second challenge when he was yelling back and forth with the balcony.
Yeah.
I think they could have played it 2 ways. They played it the way Joe was kind of amused by it, but they could have played it the way like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to be cooking right now, and you're talking to the balcony."
That was a perfect Gordon impression.
Was it?
Yeah. I'm really jealous.
Oh, okay.
It's like I just met him. It's like he's here. He was
Oh my
here,
God.
now he's gone.
Kyle's freaking out a
I'm
little bit,
freaking
guys.
out.
He's shaking.
I'm shaking.
He
Exactly.
got goosebumps.
I need more water.
I'm actually Gordon Ramsay. I just put on a costume.
Oh, you look great.
Yeah,
you look great.
it's tough.
You don't look 47. Yeah. I see him as a little bit of character. I think he was getting a lot of hate on the show unnecessarily, and they play it with the preview for next episode. They're like, "Oh, you don't need this. You're from Malibu. You're rich." I'm like, I don't know if an economic factor plays any role of your cooking ability, and it shouldn't play any role of whether or not you win. This is about being a master chef, not being a master chef under a certain like annual salary.
Yeah, and it's kind of just like, guys, there are rich people out there who are actors. There are rich people out there who are unsuccessful actors.
Yeah.
It's people who love doing what they want to do.
Right.
You can't be prejudiced against somebody because of their financial bracket. If he was like, if he was on the show like, "Yeah, I'm in it for the money,"
right?
Then you'd be like, "Yeah, okay, get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
But like, honestly, I looked at his plans like, yeah, the portion size was huge.
Yeah.
But that was.
But how good did that look?
It looked like Thanksgiving. Like I was like, I want to eat that.
Sign me up for that. I'll undo my top like button on my pants and eat that.
I'll undo my whole buttons.
Yeah,
on my,
the whole button, all of the buttons,
all the buttons on my pants.
It looked really good.
It did,
and that is why again these are homegrown chefs.
Chickens
right?
don't fly, but they swim in mashed potatoes.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the title of your first cooking book.
That is the title of
signed by Gordon Ramsay.
It's
on
just,
the thing that you can't tell me about.
Yeah, except the potatoes have to be cooked, not overcooked.
Definitely.
So that was kind of an interesting competition because we kind of skipped over that. 7 fridges, or however many fridges there were. They just had the normal things. They had bacon, they had vegetables, tomato, they had shrimp. And I mean, not much else. Butter, like the basics. It was really the basics.
Yeah, it was just basic stuff.
And I feel like I kind of would have liked to see that be the first competition.
Then the signature dish?
Just a little bit, because with the signature dish, we get to see a lot of people's like, oh, they're comfortable making this. But like when you get to that, you get to see creativity.
That's true, but again, with the signature dish, there are no excuses.
True.
You can't come here and be like, oh, sorry that you're not comfortable working with bacon and chicken.
That is true. You're right.
It's like, you bring us your best. Bring us the best. No excuses.
You got everything at your fingertips.
Yeah,
do it.
right?
That makes sense. You're right. I recant my statement.
Good, because that's
Kyle,
why I said it. I said it so you would change your mind.
Kyle Kittleson, champion of making me recant.
Perfect. Okay, so can we talk about one of my favorite people?
It wasn't
She's from Birmingham,
Jordan?
Alabama. No, I
Daniel?
don't know who Jordan is. I don't know who Daniel is.
Whitney?
No.
Was it Jamie?
No.
It wasn't Christine.
No. There are a lot of people on this show.
Oh, well, there's nobody else. It couldn't have been Elise.
Elise. She reminds me of this like little tiny mouse who's just like, I want to play too.
Oh my God.
Are you guys Are you playing? Can I play? So
she's going so far in this competition, you know it right now.
She will, because what she's going to do is tug on the heartstrings of America, which she's already started doing. Great job. And she is going to go very, very far. She will not win. We all know Elise will not win. We're very sorry, Elise. She will go. I think she could be another top fiver. I think she could be there. But eventually they'll say, you're just too nice.
She got this whole episode, though. They really gave her this episode.
Yeah, it was her. No one is not. I was live tweeting the show, and when I said, Gordon clearly faked her out, as we were hoping he would, and said, you're not going upstairs because your teammates are coming downstairs to congratulate you. And I tweeted that, and I said, go Elise. And that got like the most activity of any tweet all night because people love Elise. They love her.
She's the fan favorite already.
So that's why I think she'll go far.
And you know what? I say this in the kindest way possible.
Please do.
She reminds me of Fat Amy of Pitch Perfect.
Yes.
Because I was like, cooking excuse me? That, like, hashtag cooking excuse me, guys. Tweet that at me and I will love you forever. But no, because she is just that personality.
Yeah.
Because she's real. She's exactly who she wants to be.
And you know what? I went to school in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and those Southern people are kind, and those Southern people know how to cook, and those Southern cookers are the ones that I want to like go all the way in this show.
I guarantee you she cried in her audition video.
Yeah, she cried on the first episode as well. She's a cry. I mean, that's what I mean. She's like a little mouse. So I need her to like kind of man up a little bit and just go, get it together. This is a competition. Now you got through the first episode. Gordon gave you your apron. Now go cook. And
don't make any more damn pies.
Please.
No more
pies. Goodness.
I thought it was funny how as soon as they started the second competition, I see Gordon rolling out dough, and then I see him making a broth, and I'm like, he's making a chicken pot pie.
Yeah,
and then the next scene was like, we're like, oh, she's making a chicken pot pie. All right. I would love to eat a authentic chicken pot pie made by somebody from Alabama.
Yes.
Because we made it at the restaurant I worked at, Lucky 32 in North Carolina. If you ever like fine dining Southern food in your North Carolina acquaintance Weaver restaurants, Lucky 32 is amazing.
There it is.
Rotating menu every 3 months. We change it. Shout out to you, Chef Jay.
Yeah.
But no, like when you get somebody who was raised, like they didn't learn food from a cooking cookbook. They didn't learn food from working in this nice like Michelin restaurant.
Yeah.
They learned it from generations of their family.
Grandma.
Like, you put lard in that mofo. You put salt in that.
Because it tastes better if you do it.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Chicken and dumplings made from scratch. That's the way you do it. I would love to see her make chicken and dumplings in one of these episodes.
Well, I think she'll go a ways, and I think we'll see a lot from her.
I think we will. I'd like to see her make empanadas.
Okay.
That would be give her a Spanish twist to it.
Yeah.
Because she likes to use the dough. We know
she likes to use the dough. I hope she can go outside. She doesn't seem like someone who will go outside of her box, which is what Gordon said. He goes, I asked you and you didn't. So I hope she's learned her lesson. And the next one, she's like, I have a sushi pizza, soup for you. And we're just like, great. At least this is outside of your box.
Just don't make a souffle. I think it means it's time for our predictions.
Let's do it. Sound effects.
Woo!
Cued.
Do we get some strobe lights? Oh, yeah, we get some strobe lights.
TV.
Yeah!
Well, my prediction is that Big Willie and Elise go, I think Big Willie top 5. I think Elise top 10. And I think there'll be a lot more fake outs by Gordon. And I think we'll see a lot more fake outs by Graham that are executed more successfully.
Okay.
And I think I have to remind myself to never watch the show without having not had dinner first. Because I look at all this great food and I'm hungry, and then I don't want to go make food because, I just watched someone make a perfect Wellington and I'm going to heat up something in the microwave. So that just makes me
I could never make a good Wellington. It's the one thing I can never make.
That's the one thing.
No, seriously. Like I've tried and I fail at it miserably. Luckily, I ate before this. Our executive producer, Maria Menounos, bought us Memorial Day barbecue.
Very nice.
And that was really nice of her. You should go follow her on Twitter at Maria Menounos and tell her how much you love AfterBuzz TV. My predictions, I think the winner is someone we have not met yet.
Agree.
And I think the second place is Dan Wu.
Just out of nowhere, you coming in with second place.
I think Dan Wu second place.
You have this much to go off of, and you're already throwing second place out.
I'm throwing second place out.
Wow.
I think you're right about Big Willie, and I think you're right about Elise being at least top 10.
Who I am interested to see, and I know we're backing up a little bit, that kind of quirky looking girl with the bob and the glasses.
The one
she
who
had,
looks like
she had no lines this
the
show.
costume maker from The Incredibles.
Yes.
That's exactly what she looked like.
That is exactly what she looks like.
No capes in the
I'm
kitchen.
make a prediction right now that she is a vegetarian or vegan.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna make that prediction. We'll see if I'm right.
Top 10 definitely. What's the exotic dancer's name? Courtney, probably top 10. I think Leslie's leaving in the next week or two.
Yeah. He's not so memorable.
I feel like he's going to just kind of do something stupid and say something stupid. Yeah. He's the kind to talk back to Chef at the judge.
Yeah, he would do that.
He would definitely do that.
Yeah.
But honestly, those are our predictions for now. They might change in the coming weeks. But thank you guys so much for joining us for the first episode of MasterChef. I believe this is our first time doing this after show. Is it? No, we might have
done MasterChef.
Have we done it before?
I feel like AfterBuzz does every show, so I would assume we have.
Well, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, thank you for joining us. This has been Season 5, Episode 1 of MasterChef. 30 chefs or top 30 compete. We're down to, I think, 22.
22, baby.
22. Tweet us your favorites. You can tweet me at Stephen Lemieux, StephenLemieux. Tweet us how much you love the show, and tweet us any comments you want that we can throw you shout-outs on next week. Kyle,
please do. You can find me at Kyle_Kittleson. That's Kitt, as in Tom, Leson, as in Nathan.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back next Monday for another episode of MasterChef on Fox.
All right, Gordon.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later! No, leave the kitchen! Get out now! You're not allowed back in here!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.